So what is freehand machine embroidery? Basically, it is just a way of drawing with your sewing machine, and drawing in a way where you are in complete control over where those stitches land. The machine itself is not doing any of that kind of work for you. It's all on you. You are free to make your own choices. Now, freehand machine embroidery sometimes goes by other names. I've always called it freehand machine embroidery, but other people refer to it as free motion embroidery or thread painting or even just machine drawing, all common terms for the same kind of technique. The technique itself is actually very simple, and in reality it's just a more creative use of a very traditional technique known as darning or machine darning. Now, when you think of the word darning, if you've ever heard of that term before, you're probably thinking of patching up holes in socks. And that's what darning is. It's a way of patch mending. It's just done on the sewing machine. So to do darning, really what you're doing is turning off pretty much all your sewing machine settings so that it's just that needle flying up and down so that you can scribble around over that hole in your clothing and mend it and patch it up. And then freehand machine embroidery, it's just a fancier name for machine darning. It's a more creative use of that technique where your machine is set up in a way so that you can freely move your fabric around the needle and the machine itself is not fighting you or getting in the way so that you can do that drawing. Now, darning is a very traditional technique. It is something that pretty much every sewing machine can do. So that's always good news when you're questioning whether or not your machine is capable of this. If your machine can do darning, your machine can do freehand machine embroidery because they're the same thing. But whichever way you look at it, I think this technique is so exciting because it is very simple in the way that your machine is being used, but it is so versatile because there are so many different ways that you can do a drawing, and therefore there are so many different ways that you can use freehand machine embroidery for yourself.